Hi everyone, the following video is a review of my Raymond Weil Tradition Chronograph watch and my experience with Raymond Weil to date. Now, the following video is quite a long video, so I encourage you to watch all of it, but if you feel it's too long, then please at the very least flick through the slides and you'll get all the information that you need in a snapshot. So, to begin with, as a fan of watches, I decided to purchase my first luxury watch to celebrate starting my first job since graduating from university with a law degree. Now, I've always been particularly drawn to Raymond Weil as a brand and looked forward to the time in my life when I'd finally be able to afford one of their watches. And through my research and through word of mouth, I believe their design, quality and brand name to stand out amongst the numerous leading Swiss watch brands. Now, I first purchased the Raymond Weil Tradition Chronograph on the 18th of July last year, so that's over 8 months ago from the time of this review. Now, unfortunately, the first watch that I received was defective. It took 4 months of repeated communications via email and phone conversations, both with the UK agents and Geneva, to finally convince Raymond Weil to provide a replacement. Now, the replacement watch that they received, so this is the second watch we're on now, supplied and tested by Raymond Weil prior to shipment, was also defective. To this date, I continue to face great difficulty in communicating with Raymond Weil, and their communications have quite frankly involved impoliteness, unwillingness to listen to my point of view, significant delay in response, so months at a time to receive replies, and overall poor customer service. Now, I still await a resolution, and in fact I've actually produced this video initially to show Raymond Weil the great difficulties and the stress they've put me through, and to really outline how unfairly and badly I've been treated. So this video initially started as private, and if it's open to the public today, then it means that Raymond Weil have seen this and have chosen not to correct their mistakes, and that they failed to provide me with a refund despite having this final opportunity to correct themselves. Now, I'm not trying to sort of run Raymond Weil down here, but instead I'm really trying to illustrate my difficult journey with them, and that involves 2 defective watches, 8 months of my time, and really a blank refusal from Raymond Weil to cooperate. So I'd really just like to share my experience and hope that either they resolve this off the back of this, or if not, that no one has to sort of face what I've had to go through with Raymond Weil. I'd also like to say, before I move on to the next slide, that I can substantiate everything that I say in this video, and that you're free to contact me at any point if you'd like me to send over the correspondence between myself and Raymond Weil. So, on the 18th of July, I was holidaying in Florida, and I was browsing some watches and entered Soul Time in Florida Mall, which is a Raymond Weil authorized dealer. I was a huge fan of Raymond Weil. My attention immediately went to their display, and the attendant was very helpful in assisting me. Now, at this stage I had no intention of purchasing a watch from the US, as I'm from the UK, as you can probably tell from my accent, but the deal that they offered was really too good to turn down, and I knew that I wanted to buy this watch anyway, so they said that if I purchased the watch from their store, they would discount the after sales tax. And that provided a significant enough incentive for me to purchase from their US store. But little did I know at this point that this would lead to so much difficulty. As a fan of Raymond Weil, I would say it's such a shame that my opinion and confidence in them has been shattered, and that I've literally been reduced to posting videos on YouTube to warn others. So, on the watch that I purchased, I noticed 4 severe defects, and those are, firstly, that the second hand on the stop clock was permanently in an incorrect position in its rest state. The second defect was that the second hand on the right dial was not falling in the correct position when ticking around the dial. The third defect was the number 10 on the bottom dial was faded and worn, and the fourth defect was that the hand on the left dial was also out of alignment. Now, please note that these aren't sort of minor defects such as a scratch on the strap or something else that's minor that we can all deal with. These are all huge manufacturing defects. And also, this isn't a sort of $10 market watch. This is a $1,000 Swiss watch. So in this slide, I've attached a couple of pictures to outline the defects that I mentioned. And although it's difficult to see them through these pictures, I like to assure you that they do exist and they are real. And Raymond Weil have actually verified this upon their professional inspection, and I have proof of this via email correspondence. So, after spotting these defects, I contacted Raymond Weil within 30 days, and in fact took several messages via their online feedback box before I finally received a response. And in fact, I received a call from their UK agents. Now, the gent on the phone was actually quite rude. He spoke over me and was unwilling to listen to my concerns. I desperately tried to explain that the defects with the watch and that it was my legal right under the Sales of Goods Act to receive a replacement for the defective goods that I was sold. I also informed him that Raymond Weil's warranty cannot exclude replacements, as this is in contravention to the Unfair Contract Terms Act. Therefore, I was within my statutory rights to receive a refund or replacement. Consequently, as a result of this chap's refusal to listen to my point of view, I requested to deal with Geneva directly. Finally, once I was contacted by Geneva, I reiterated the points above, and following communications with them, I sent my watch to the UK agent for inspection. So, in all, it took 4 months since detecting the defects and the reiteration of numerous legal and moral points before I was finally offered a replacement for that watch. So I received a replacement on or around the 15th of November, and within 3 weeks of receiving the replacement, I noticed even more defects. Now, in fact, I only noticed these defects because I was travelling abroad and I had to change the time. So when I really closely inspected the watch, I noticed that there was a large scratch on the watch face, the time could not be adjusted, and the date could not be adjusted. So that's 3 major defects with the replacement watch and 4 major defects with the initial watch. So due to the fact that this was the second severely defective watch that I had received, I decided that it was time to request a refund from Raymond Weil. At this point, I'd received 2 watches with severe defects, unreasonably poor after-sales service, and a total lack of confidence with Raymond Weil as a result. So, I'd just like to say as well that, I'm aware that products fail and defects can occur, and if a product is bad or if a product is faulty but the service is good, I'm happy to give them another chance, as we all make mistakes and no one's really perfect. And if you can see that the service is good and they're doing their best, then you can forgive and forget. But in this case, when they're hardly reachable and months go by between responses, my excitement levels about having a watch around my wrist as a graduation and career present to myself have been completely destroyed. So I almost feel like saying that if you're enthusiastic about getting a new watch, I really don't think Raymond Weil is a brand for you. So I submitted the following video to Raymond Weil. Now, as you can see here, I spin the crown both clockwise and anti-clockwise, and you don't see any smooth movement of the hand. In fact, you'll see the odd sort of skip in a second. Still no movement. There we go, it moves a little bit there, and again there, and again there. And I'm going to spin it the other way around. And you'll see there's still no movement. Okay, the video's frozen. But after I spin it, there's again another skip and then another skip. So, like I said before, this has already been provided to Raymond Weil. Like I said before, this has already been provided to Raymond Weil. The video has been provided of the defect, and this PowerPoint and YouTube video has also been provided to Raymond Weil. And I've said that if after seeing the sort of this journey that I've been through with them, if they still decide they're not going to provide a solution, that it's going to go public. So if you're watching this, then you know that they haven't refunded me for the 2 defective watches that I've been provided. So I'm sure you guys are going to agree that by now I've been through quite enough with this company, and I hope you're already pleased that you've learned a little something by watching this review. So following sending them the video of the defect, I received a reply from Geneva on the 12th of December, and in that reply I was told to read the user manual. Raymond Weil stated that all of their watches are tested prior to shipment, and consequently they could not accept the existence of such severe defects. So on the same day I replied to them and reiterated my points from the previous slide and requested to speak with higher management. They refused to escalate the issue, and instead I received a response from Geneva almost 1 month later, on the 5th of January, inviting me to submit the watch for repair. So I returned the watch with a note stating that I was formally putting them on notice to request my legal rights for a refund, and I wouldn't accept a repair or replacement. Raymond Weil had failed to act in accordance with their legal obligations under the Sales of Goods Act, and they've also failed to supply goods and services that one would expect of a leading Swiss watch manufacturer, or even reasonably expect from a watch manufacturer at all. And to this point, I think I've allowed more than a reasonable opportunity for Raymond Weil to assist me, and they have clearly failed. So I just wanted to point out that under Raymond Weil's terms and conditions, they state that you are never entitled to a refund under any circumstances. Now, you might question whether this is legal, and I'd like to say that it's absolutely not legal. These terms and conditions are an absolute contravention of the Unfair Contract Terms Act. Companies are simply not allowed to refuse refunds in their terms and conditions in circumstances such as these. However, Raymond Weil choose to ignore this. So today is the day that I'm creating this video. It's the 25th of March, and it's been over 8 months since my initial purchase. Raymond Weil continue to employ delaying tactics and have firmly refused to refund me for their defective watches. They refuse to take into account my legal rights. They've also refused to take into account the enormous inconvenience and stress that I've been put through. Currently, the only resolution they've offered is to provide a repair of the second defective watch that they've provided me with, and that's not what I paid for. So despite paying for this watch on the 18th of July, I have since spent most of my time without a watch on my wrist, and unfortunately I've been reduced and I've been forced to lose my enthusiasm for Raymond Weil due to the repeated messages that they have conveyed, which confirm a total lack of respect for their customers. And so this is really sort of my final to try and get a resolution from them, and if not, then I post this purely to inform the general public of the hardships that they may also face with Raymond Weil. Now, I'd like to use actually Apple as a comparison point when it comes to service. And I think it's fair to say that Apple are one of the best, if not the best, company when it comes to service. Now, I don't know if you've had experience with Apple, but I was new to Apple a few years ago. And from my experience with them, I have always received attention, care, expediency, an open ear, and I would say a general enthusiasm to solve their customers' problems. Raymond Weil, on the other hand, have displayed service at a polar opposite of that provided by Apple. Now, I'm not saying that all companies should be as great as Apple, but I do feel that companies as large and reputable as Raymond Weil should treat their customers far better than they have treated me, especially in an era when we've all clearly the benefit of learning from the exceptional service provided by Apple. Now, I've got a quick question for you guys. You've heard what I've had to say, and you've seen some evidence, and I wonder if you think I'm reasonable to request a refund in these circumstances. So I encourage you to please leave your comments, and also please get in touch if you have any questions, because I'm happy to answer anything about my experience before you get married to the wrong watch brand. So thank you all for watching, and once again, please do leave your comments. Thank you.